Welcome to the Speak Up Sis talk show for authors, conversations that connect, where powerful conversations meet purpose and connection. I'm your host, Angel Charmaine, and this is the space where stories inspire, wisdom ignites, and voices rise to build bridges that truly connect us all. Whether you're here for encouragement, empowerment, or just a dose of real talk, you found the right place. Let's dive in and have the kind of conversations that move us forward together. Today, I'm excited. We're on day 3 of the Holiday Author Showcase here on Speak Up Sis Talk Show for Authors, Conversations That Connect. And I am really excited to have our author here today. She has been a part of the Speak Up Sis community for a little while now, and I'm truly excited to have this conversation with her. I don't really know her as an author. And so I'm really excited to talk to her about her book. She's come into the space and she's gotten really involved in the community. She was also a part of the Speak Up Sis Awards. And now we get to meet her as one of the authors in the Speak Up Sis bookshelf family of authors. So y'all come on in. Y'all know how we do. Make sure that you treat her kindly. This is a warm and welcoming space. Make sure that you give us your hellos. Hey girl, hey's, how you doing? Whatever in the comments. There will also be a Q&A session towards the latter part of our talk today. So make sure that you drop your questions and your comments in the comment section and we will address them. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and bring up our author guest today, author Colleen Williams. Welcome to Speak Up Sis Talk Show for Authors. How you doing, sis?
I'm fine, thank you. How are you doing today?
I am doing so well, and you are looking really pretty in pink today.
Because I'm blessed. Thank you so much.
Yes, I
Thank
didn't even
you.
know it said blessed. That
Yes.
is, oh, I love it. Pink is one of my favorite colors, and
Okay.
being blessed is one of my favorite things to be. So
Yes.
that's what's up. How are you feeling about talking about your book today?
I'm excited. I'm really excited. This is like the perfect timing, the perfect everything about this interview, this book, this topic. It just fits right in. Ending off
Just visit.
2024. Yes.
Perfect. So I'm going to move out of the way and allow you to introduce yourself formally to our audience of viewers. Are you ready?
Yes, I am.
All right.
Hello, my name is Colleen Williams. I was born in Trinidad, but I live in Boston, Mass. I'm a motivational speaker, soccer coach, and sexual abuse. And I'm also a travel agent. That's who I am. I love to write. I love to read. I love to read and I love to write. And those are my hobbies. Nice to meet you.
Okay. So that's how I kind of know you as in terms of what you do for a living as a travel
Right,
agent.
right.
I
Yeah.
see you post a lot about that. Do you do quite a bit of traveling? Do you used to do a lot of traveling? What made you decide you want to be a travel agent?
I actually do a lot of traveling and I love it. I enjoy it. It's peace of mind for me. So why not just teach others what I do so they can feel the same way too? So I love traveling, just different places, different cities. And that's why I decided to become one.
Excellent. I'm going to actually take a vacation soon. I know I told you I was going to take a vacation this
Yes.
summer, and I did not.
Yes.
I have not taken a vacation all 2024. Can you even believe it?
It's needed.
I have not. And I am telling myself that I am going to take some time to just relax and to not do work or anything of that nature, and maybe even get to writing these next 2 books that
Yeah.
I have started and go ahead and get them done. So I'm gonna get some vacay time in, and I'll make sure that I am connecting with you when it is time for me to do that. Okay.
Yes, thank
So
you.
let's go ahead and jump into your journey as an author. How do you move from travel agent? I know you're a mom. How do you move from these things to becoming an author? How did you get into that place? What led you to become an author?
So I became an author because of my troubled life. It's just I've been through so much, and while I was going through it, I was also helping others go through it as well. And I decided to just write more about it. So because I know there's somebody out there that's going through what I've gone through or been there, and I was able to, just show them how to come out of it. So it was very hard for me to speak to anybody. So I just started writing. And to be honest, that's my healing. That's my peace. And it goes right into traveling. Every time I travel, I just get to the beach or I'm in my guest house or the villa and I just start writing. So I get to heal myself. I get to teach others how to heal. So that's where that whole writing piece comes in.
Okay. I can understand that. I know for me, writing is therapeutic.
Yes.
And like you said, it's healing, right? It's a balm, if you will, and you just kind of get all the things out, whether you are a nonfiction writer or a fiction writer, being able to get your thoughts, your imagination, all that, all those things, all of the words, right, that are packed up in here, and in here you get to
Yes.
get them out of you. So I
Yes.
totally understand writing being similar to taking a vacay, right? You just I'm just gonna let it all out, let it all
Exactly.
hang out on these pages. I understand that. Did you have any like surprise aha moments in your writing of this particular book?
I have had a lot of more than aha moments. This book was seriously a serious journey. It started a while ago, and it's because the reason why I wrote the book, it was just the way my life was going, and I needed some answers because I'm raising my son. Well, he's 30 now, but I'm raising him, and I just felt like everything I was saying to him, I was lying. I can only teach him what I was taught, so I just had to like reverse back and try to like, hold up, let me, before I tell you anything, let me figure out what the real truth is, let me figure out the real story, and then I can present it to him because eventually he's going to have a family, and I want him to tell his family the right thing and not coming from hurt or coming from pain, so. And the best part, he was just recently able to read the book and he was like, wow, mommy, I never knew you've been through all that, so that was it for me.
That is the beauty in writing memoirs and writing nonfiction books that are based on your own personal experiences. It's a beautiful thing for the people who know you and love you to read your story. They
Hmm.
think they know you.
That part.
They think they know you
Yeah.
until you put it out there. And I can just imagine your son going, "Oh my goodness, like I thought I knew, but
Yes.
maybe I didn't.
Now you do.
And now you do." And then the question becomes, so what are you going to do with what you know now?
Right.
How are you going to move, right? So
Right.
we have some guests here and I would like to speak to them. Is that okay with you?
Sure.
Dina, how are you? She says, "Good afternoon, ladies."
Good afternoon,
Good
Dina.
afternoon, Dina. We love you here in Speak Up Sis land. Dina is a part of the Speak Up Sis community, and we love when she shows up because she is such a beautiful light, such great encouragement. And so we thank you for being into the space today for as long as you're able to chop it up with us today. Hello, Miss Leslie Montgomery. Good afternoon to you. Thank you so much for coming into the space. Leslie is also a new budding member of our Speak Up Sis community. She's also the recipient. She was the recipient of one of the Speak Up Sis awards this year, and she has a beautiful spirit as well. So thank you so much for coming into the space, and good afternoon to you. We've got another great conversation that we're going to have today. I have with me right now, author Colleen Williams, and she is the author of The Quest for Truth. And we're going to talk about her work today as we get to know her. So y'all stick around, because this is a very powerful book. The subject matter in this book, I think it's probably gonna grab at your heartstrings just a little bit, maybe a lot bit. So we're gonna go ahead and get into that. So I've got a different kind of question for you. I want to lighten this up, because your book is really heavy. And when we start talking about that, it can get heavy, right?
Yes,
So
yes.
before we do that, with this type of story, it reminds me of the Tyler Perrys of the world, or the Lee Daniels of the world,
Oh, yeah.
right? And the types of stories that they tell in their spaces. So what I want to ask you is, if your book were to be adapted to a movie or film or something of that nature, who would you want to be cast as the main character in your book? Who would you want to play you?
I would choose Monique because you know her.
Really?
Because her movie Precious just reminds me of what I've been through. So I would
Oh,
choose her.
wow.
Yes.
That's heavy.
Yes.
That's heavy. I think Monique can play just about any part. And you're
Right.
right. She could definitely um I just wouldn't see her face in your face. That would be hard for me to
That's
see.
true. That's true.
I'm thinking maybe, I don't know. What do you think about a Viola Davis? I think Viola
Oh, God.
Davis.
Violet, she's fierce. She's fierce.
Yes,
Yes. Yeah.
absolutely.
Yes, her. Yes.
So either way, Monique would definitely do it justice. Viola would do
Yeah.
it justice. Angela would definitely do it. I think any of those actresses who can really kind of go inside of themselves
Hmm.
and go inside of the character and
Yes.
show you the heart of the character on screen would do well. But okay, that's interesting though that you would pick Monique. I didn't think you would pick Monique, but
Yeah.
she's amazing.
Yes, she is.
She's amazing. And I thought about that in terms of Precious and your story as well. I did think about that. So I could totally see why you would go there. So if you will, please tell us what we can expect from the quest for truth. Is it a memoir? Is it a devotional? Is it a journal? What type of book? What is the genre of the quest for truth?
The genre is memoir nonfiction, and it's
Okay.
just my real life story from birth till now. And that story had to be told.
So, what are some of the key themes that we can expect to see inside of your work?
At the beginning, it's going to be dark. It's going to be questionable. A couple of people had to close the book and come back, a couple of days later. But at the ending, you will see the resilience. You will see the strength. You will see why I am the way I am now. You would actually, when you actually read the book, then you will exactly know who Colleen Williams is and why she is the way she is. So that's what you can
When did you
expect.
when did you actually write this book? Is this a new release for you? Is it a book that you've written for a while ago?
The book, I wrote it a while ago. It was called The Secret My Mother Kept. And then you know how God works. It had to be when he wanted it to be. And no shade, I'm not laughing. It's not funny. God had to wait till she was gone.
Mm,
You know what I'm saying? Because
yeah.
he just wanted me to tell my truth and just say what you have to say. And, I laugh a lot. So people are like, why is she always laughing? I laugh because I can't cry anymore. And
Mm,
the moment, the month this book came out, that was the month my mother was gone.
Really?
And I felt, you know what? Hey, I said what I had to say. Now you can go ahead. And I
Yeah.
feel complete, and I'm no tears. I just feel good that God was like, hey, finish this in time, switch the names. And I just had to stick with God, pray, cry, scream, trust Him, take a break, walk around, start over, put it back, and finish it. And it came out the perfect timing.
Wow. That is something. It is difficult, especially with memoirs, nonfiction books where you are talking about your own life because your life encompasses the lives of others.
Yes.
And what I have found difficult to do with being a nonfiction writer is to share my story without infringing upon someone else's story. To
Right.
share my story without sharing someone else's story can be very difficult to do, but it
Yes.
is very possible to do and to do it well. I'd like to know why you decided to start promoting this book in this season because what year
Hmm.
did you publish this book?
This book, I published the book in 2009. I started
So
in
that's a
15
while,
years. Yes,
right? So that's a
2009.
while. Tell me and let us know if you will, please, why now?
Why now is so the name of the book is called The Quest for Truth, and it's a journey of forgiveness. So it's basically the reason why I wrote it as The Secret My Mother Kept, because it was so many things that just kept happening in my life. And at the ending, it was always a lie. And every time I go to my mom and I'm like, okay, mommy, what's the situation? She just kept shutting me down. Like I was crazy and I was a liar. And it was just about abuse. And okay, so who is my real father? And I had no idea. And it was like a few years ago, I went to a funeral, my father, and it wasn't even my father. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like I felt so embarrassed. My mom told so, I'm not dogging her, but my mom told so many lies. And it's what she taught me. That's all I knew. So I'm sitting here telling my son a whole bunch of stories. And when he was like, Mommy, I thought this person was your father. That's why I was like, let me just pause. Let me do what I have to do. And my husband gave me a ticket to go back to Trinidad to just find out the whole truth and nothing but the truth. Found out I was left in an orphanage. She just didn't want me. I was raised with everybody else. I came to America. She still didn't want me. Any guy was my father. And I was like, listen, I'm an adult and I just want to know the truth. And like I said, I'm a firm believer in God. And the book finished in July. And July 21st, God was like, let's go. So she did get a
Wow.
copy of the book. So I know she had some, I know I felt like it was grief. I felt it was hurt, but I feel much better. I can't walk around no more shame. I said what I have
Mhm,
to say and I feel good. The reason why I did it, this month is Thanksgiving.
mhm.
We're sitting around the table telling stories. And the thing with me, I don't have a family. I don't have a story to tell. So it's like I'm like I just kept saying this book have to come out this year. It have to come out this year because next year I don't want to keep talking about this again. I did what I have to do. I said what I have to say. It helped a lot of people. A lot of people had to close the book, but that was my journey to forgive my mom from birth to age 52. I forgave, I moved on, and I'm happy.
Oh, so heavy.
It is.
We hear oftentimes about people who are adopted or people who don't even know who their mom is, let alone their dad. And that feeling of wanting to know, where I come from and to be placed in a situation where you're always at question. You know what your story reminds me of? Kirk Franklin's story.
Oh gosh.
just a little bit, right?
Yeah.
Because he's got this mom and he's trying to like, who's my dad? And she's like, that's your dad. No, he's not. And are you
Mm-hmm.
gonna tell me and just leave me alone? Let's let just leave things alone. And so as you talk about this, that's who this reminds me of is his story just a little bit, not the whole thing, but
Right.
that
Little
piece of
pieces.
wanting to know where I come from, what happened to me as a child, and having a mother who, and I'm going to say maybe is not capable
Yes.
of, and I think a lot of times we look at it as they're just being mean or ornery or they're just hateful or whatever. And when we start looking at forgiveness and understanding that our parents were human, just
Yes.
regular people before they were our parents, then sometimes it may be that they're just not capable of telling their story
Right.
to help you understand your story because it's too painful for them to deal. And who knows, right?
Right.
Who knows? But you did say that, when people read it, they're just kind of like, oh, or they put it down, and sometimes it's heavy. So I like to know that if there's one question, right, or that your readers could ask you after finishing reading, what do you hope that question would be? So if I'm a reader and I read your book, what is like the one question that you would hope I would want to ask you after reading your book?
I would hope they ask me, how do I feel about it? But the questions I get is, did you forgive your mom? And I'm like, here we go again. It's not about her, it's about me. So I would hope they would ask me about my feelings, about where I'm at now. How do I feel mentally? But it was just, that's something I would want them to ask me.
Okay, that kind of leads me to another question that I have. It's amazing. This is so. Just let me say, for those of you who are brand spanking new into this space, my name is Angel Charmaine, and I am the host of Speak Up Sis Talk Show for Authors Conversations That Connect. I am also the owner of Speak Up Sis Bookshelf. And when my guests come, we do not have scripted conversations. We
I
want
see.
these conversations to be conversations that truly connect with you as
Mhm.
a viewer, as a listener of this show. I don't give them questions ahead of time or anything like that because I feel like this is your work and you should be able to talk about it openly and honestly. But it never fails. My guests always fall in line with the direction that I want to go.
Yes, yes, I see.
So I'm really excited that you brought up um, the feedback that you get from the readers, the feedback that you've been getting. And I want to ask, what role has that feedback from your readers played in your journey as an author? Does it make you want to continue writing, maybe write a part two or continue? Like, what does your readers' feedback, what role does it play in your journey as an author?
So the feedback I've been receiving, it's hilarious. I've lived where I'm at here for 15 years. I'm well respected in this community. But most recently, after my mom went to wherever she, not to be rude, I don't know where she went, but after my mom passed away, now I'm getting booked to speak here and to speak there. And it's like, wow, seriously, now I'm walking the streets. Even yesterday, I'm walking the streets and I'm so well respected. But when I was going through what I was going through, nobody would speak to me. Now that I've written this book and they know my name and they know the truth, oh my gosh, Colleen, can you come and speak here? I spoke the the first Saturday of this month. I spoke across the street, and now every time you turn around, hey, I would love for you to come and speak here. This afternoon at 11 o'clock, they just asked me, can I speak at a woman's shelter on Thanksgiving Day about the same thing? Because it's so many women go through these things and we're afraid to talk, or we're afraid to what somebody else is gonna say. But if you don't talk, how is anybody gonna know? You know what I'm saying? So the feedback has been out of this world.
Good. I am hoping that you're going to get, not hoping, I know that you're going to get some new readers
Yes,
after this conversation. And I pray that their feedback will be a quality type of feedback that will help to encourage you to keep doing what it is that you're doing. We
exactly.
have some more guests in the building. So we're going to go on over here and say hello to some of our viewers right now. We've got Miss Peggy T watching on YouTube. Thank you so much. For those of you who are watching on YouTube, thank you so much. And I hope that you have clicked the subscribe button and subscribe to our Speak Up Sis YouTube channel and become one of our YouTube family members. Thank you, Peggy, and good afternoon. Thank you for joining us. Hello, author S.L. Burns. Miss Shay Burns was our guest here
Yes.
on yesterday, and she has joined in today to listen to your episode. So thank you so much,
Thanks, Shay.
Shay, for coming into the space. I really appreciate you for showing up today. Susan Harrison, one of our community members, is in the building. I think Susan has been here every day this week. Thank you so much,
Thanks,
Susan.
Susan.
Sending you lots of love for coming into the space and supporting these amazing authors. Leslie she can relate to your story. She says that was the same thing about my story. My title is The Secret of a
Oh,
Pastor's
wow.
Wife.
Oh, yeah. Can't wait
Leslie,
to
is
read
that
that
a
one.
book? Is that a book?
Woo,
Leslie,
Leslie.
do you need to be on the Speak Up Sis bookshelf, sis? Do you need to be on the other side of this
Mm,
camera so that we can talk about that? Because that is actually, I like the title that you had prior to The Quest for Truth. What did you say? The secret my mother kept. What did you
yes,
say it was?
that's exactly what it was.
The secret my. I like that. I mean, it really grabs you, and it's
Yes.
like, what kind of secret you talking about? So
Yes.
tell me, what made you decide to change the title from that to The Quest for Truth?
Because when I started promoting it as the secret my mother kept, of course, Colleen got the backlash. You shouldn't write that. You shouldn't say that. It's all about respecting your mother, and you shouldn't do that to your mother. And I'm like, everybody's like comforting her and making sure she's okay.
Mm,
So I figured, God was like, listen, my child, it's all about forgiveness. So, like I said, if God can forgive me, I can forgive her. And I feel like it was just trickling down. That's just how I see it. And I'm not gonna lie, I learned this from you. Because when I first met you, I was so bitter. And you was like, no, sis, just pray. And I'm like, you wouldn't understand. No, sis, just lay it at his feet. I'm like, no, you. And I learned that from you. I stalked your page and I learned this peace, this quietness from you. And I
oh,
thank you so much. So yeah.
I bless the Lord for you. Oh my goodness. I absolutely love it. Believe it or not, there was a season in my life, Colleen, where I could not stand for people to tell me to pray about it. I couldn't stand it. I was like, you mean to tell me you the pastor, you the pastor wife, you the prophetess, and that's all God gave you to give me? All he gave you to tell me was to pray about it. I don't want to listen to none of this. I was that girl.
Oh gosh. I was you when you sent me those scriptures. I was like, she wouldn't even understand. But I have to read them. Oh, she don't get it. I had to just keep reading it. You asked for help, you got the help. She sent scriptures, read the scriptures. So yes, I know.
And now that is why now at this place, I try not to tell people to just pray about it. I try my best. Sometimes I'll just pray. Sometimes I just hit the little record button and I pray because I know to say you pray about it. I know how that feels for people to do that to
Yes,
me. So now I just say, let me just pray for this person right now, or let me share some practical tips. I'm going to give you some scripture. Or I'm going to give you something
yes,
practical that you can do to help you. But something other than just go pray about it, because
yeah,
I'm like, I'm sure they're praying about it, and maybe that it doesn't feel like it's working, right?
Right,
So there's
right.
got to be something else. But I am glad to hear that you have found some help in my spaces, and I
Yes,
give God the glory for that,
yes,
because it's
yes.
definitely not me. It is all Him, and so I'm really grateful. Leslie says that she didn't know that she was adopted until she was 48.
Oh gosh.
Oh my goodness.
Mm,
Leslie, we need that story, sis. We need that story.
start writing.
We need the story. I need that story. Hello, Mika. How are you doing? Thank you for tuning in
Hi,
on
Shamika.
YouTube. Again, if you are not already subscribed to the Speak Up Sis YouTube channel, please do that today and hit the notification bell so that you can get alerts for when we have new content on the page. Thank you so much for joining us today. Dina says, this conversation gives me hope. I look forward to receiving this book. That's look, you got a new reader there. And so just be mindful, Dina.
Yes.
She would like for you to ask her about her. When you finish reading it, if you have any burning questions, you can reach out to author Colleen Williams. Just make sure that one of those questions is, how do you feel about this? Right.
Right.
So that's what's up. And then any other questions that you have for her, feel free to ask them as well. Hi, Mika said, hi.
Hi, Mika.
Thank you so
Thank you
much
for thank you.
for tuning in and joining us today. I appreciate you. So we are at our time. Can you even believe it?
I know,
It's
right?
hard sometimes to get all the really, really good stuff in. But I always ask my guests to leave us with something good and hearty and encouraging. Do you have an inspiration for, you know what? Pause. Thank you, Lord. Before we do that, because I want you to have the last word, but there's something that I would like to say to you, as well as anyone else who has a story similar to yours that includes people who have not been the most kind to you. Let me say this to you. If people do not want to be the monster in your story, they should not be the monster in your life.
Well said.
If you are the monster in my story or in my life, you will be the monster in the story.
Mm-hmm.
Not trying to make you feel bad, not trying to point fingers, but that's who you were. So if you don't want to be the monster in someone's written story, be kind to them in their real life. Be good to them in their real life. So when it's time for them to write their story, you won't be the monster. And so, sis, if you ever decide to revamp your book, rebrand your book, I'm going to highly recommend that you give it the title
That it
that
was.
you gave it, because that is the title. And that's that. Okay.
Exactly.
Forgiveness is one thing,
Yep.
but creating euphemisms and trying to lighten up the story in order to protect the monsters in
Exactly.
your story, I don't know about that. We do what we're gonna do, but maybe this is your time. Maybe you're right. Maybe mom, passing on and going wherever she's gonna be. It's time for you to be able to stand up fully and say, "Hey, this is what it is. This is this book." So if you ever think about rebranding it, if you ever think about really coming back out here full force, which I believe you're doing,
Oh
considering
yes.
you're on Speak Up Sis Talk Show for Authors now,
Yes.
reconsider that, because
I
that
will.
title is very bold, and I believe it speaks volumes before you even open the book. So I
Exactly.
just I wanted
I
to
like
sit
that.
that out there for you so that you won't walk around with that, right? Release
Right.
it, let it go. And people are who they are in your life. And when you tell the story, that's who they're going to show up as in the story. Okay.
Exactly.
So
Yep.
now that I have said that, I would like to allow you to have the last word today for conversations that connect. Please tell everybody where they can find your book as well. And then leave us with a piece of motivation or encouragement or inspiration, especially for people who may be having a difficult time sharing a difficult story.
All right. So thank you so much for having me. I'd like to thank everyone that tuned in. I do appreciate you. My book, The Quest for Truth, A Journey of Forgiveness by Colleen Williams, can be found on Amazon.com. What my last words I would like to say, just like Sister Angel said, don't hold back. Whatever you have to say it. Don't listen. Don't be like me and wait this long to tell the truth. Whatever you have on your heart, somebody hurt you, whatever it is, write it down and put it out there, because they didn't care about you when they were hurting you, right? So now that you're ready to tell the story, this is your story. Don't let anybody tell you anything different. So that's my last words. Do what you got to do. We're blessed by the best. So,
That is right. That
yes.
is right. Bam, we're going to drop the hammer on that. Colleen, I want to say thank you so much
You're more
for
than
being
welcome.
one of our amazing guest authors here for the Holiday Author Showcase.
Thank
This
you.
is the first time we decided to do this, and it has been a great success. And I'm really grateful that you're one of the authors to come into this space, especially
Thanks for having me.
after having held on to this gem of a book for so long,
Right.
to decide to come into this space to promote it. I really appreciate you. Thank you for
Thank you
sharing your
so
story.
much. You
Thank
have a
you for
great
your
one.
time. Thank you for being in this space with us
So much.
today.
Yes.
You are so welcome, Leslie. Leslie says, thank you, ladies.
Thank you,
Mika said,
Leslie. Thank you, Deanna.
she
Thanks,
said,
Mika.
amen.
Yes. Thanks, everyone.
Dina says, thank you, Colleen and Angel. You
You're
are so
welcome.
welcome. Thank you so much. So, thank you all so very much for coming into the space today. I thank you once again for watching Conversations That Connect, a Speak Up Sis talk show for authors. You can find author Colleen Williams' book listed on Speak Up Sis bookshelf. Visit speakupsis.com/bookshelf and just click on her book, and you'll be able to purchase her book directly from Speak Up Sis Bookshelf. For those of you who may be new to Speak Up Sis Bookshelf, we do not take any of the authors' profits. They provide the link to where they would like to draw your business to. So I don't want you to think that we are somehow taking anything from them. Speak Up Sis Bookshelf is an opportunity for authors to have their books in a smaller niche community so that they're easily found by our visitors to our website, and readers can purchase their books more easily. So I want to say once again, thank you so much, Colleen, for coming into the space. I thank each and every one of you who tuned in live to watch this conversation and who contributed your comments to the conversation. You can watch all of these videos at speakupsis.com/talk show. You can also become a guest on Speak Up Sis Talk Show for Authors, Conversations That Connect by visiting speakupsis.com/talk show. And until tomorrow for day 4, you all continue to open up your mouths and speak up.